This photo, taken by John Whitman for Washington Dossier in March 1983, captures an evening where Washington, D.C. wasn't just about politics, it was about chili. Here we see a Congressional Chili Tasting, an event that brought lawmakers, staffers, and journalists together for a night of tasting, debating, and connecting over bowls of this iconic dish. Chili tastings like this were soft power before we had a name for it. On the surface, they might seem lighthearted, but they were powerful tools for building camaraderie and bipartisan bonds. In a city defined by political divides, chili served as the great equalizer. Whether you were a senior congressman or a junior aide, you could share a table, a bowl, and maybe a laugh about whose chili was too spicy or not spicy enough. Here, regional pride took center stage. Texas chili ruled supreme, championed by Texan lawmakers like Jim Wright, seen here in his signature bolo tie and nod to his roots. For Texans, true chili meant meat, bold spices, and absolutely no beans. It was as unyielding and confident as Texas politics itself. Meanwhile, Cincinnati-style chili might have made an appearance, with its surprising blend of cinnamon, allspice, and a hint of chocolate, often served over spaghetti. From the Southwest, New Mexico chili brought smoky red and green chilies to the mix, reminding everyone of the region's deep culinary heritage. Southern-style chili, more forgiving in its inclusion of beans and tomatoes, added a touch of hominess. And from the Northeast, milder, slightly sweet variations reflected New England's comfort food traditions. The participatory format made these evenings stand out. This wasn't just about eating, it was about engaging. Attendees didn't spectate. They tasted, they rated, and they debated. Bowls were passed, opinions were offered, and favorites were fiercely defended. It was democracy at its most delicious, where everyone, regardless of title, had a voice in deciding which chili reigned supreme. The photo also shows a congressional country band performing in cowboy hats, guitars in hand, filling the room with music that perfectly matched the informal, festive spirit of the night. But outside the warmth of this room, the world was in motion. It was March 1983. President Ronald Reagan had just announced the Strategic Defense Initiative, a bold missile defense plan quickly dubbed Star Wars. Across America, people couldn't get enough of Michael Jackson's Thriller, an album that was revolutionizing pop music. Just weeks earlier, the final episode of MASH had aired, becoming the most watched television event in history, offering a shared moment of emotion and reflection for the country. In this photo, you see Washington not as the hyper-partisan city we often imagine today, but as a place where relationships were built over something as simple and significant as a bowl of chili. It was a Washington where informal evenings like this one helped humanize politics. It was a night where soft power was shared through regional pride, music, and the universal joy of food. This evening in March 1983 reminds us that sometimes the most meaningful connections happen not in grand halls, but over a shared meal, with laughter, conversation, and maybe a little sweat from that extra spicy bowl of Texas chili.